Hello and welcome. In this video, we're going to talk about good communication skills that will help save your relationship. But we're not going to talk about verbal. We're going to be talking about non-verbal communication. So if this is something you're interested in, stick around. Hey, welcome. I'm Dwayne, author of the book, The Ultimate Man. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please consider doing so. Okay, so you're trying to save your marriage or your relationship. This is mostly intended for men, since my channel is about men, as my commitment is to help guys not make the mistakes I made. I made so many mistakes in a 20-year marriage, it's not even funny. So I'm going to do my best to help you guys not make the mistakes I made, because I made so many mistakes. So what I have today is 4 don'ts if you're trying to save your relationship with your girl or your marriage, and 5 do's. In other words, 4 things not to do and 5 things you want to start doing if you're not. Okay? So I'm going to do the don'ts first. Okay, number 1, don't beg. Don't do any form of begging. This was one of the hugest mistakes I made when I was trying to save my marriage. I mean, begging in any form, what I mean by that is, you know, oh, please don't go, please stay, please reconsider, I love you so much, I'll do anything, how can we work this out? You know, and then a couple days later say, well, would you just reconsider? Well, would you just think about it? Those are all forms of begging. Don't do that. If you're begging now, absolutely stop. Okay? Number 2, don't let her tell you what to do all the time. That's another form of, you know, weakness, or it's a form of weakness. Women do not want a man that's weak. That's another one of my big mistakes. Whatever she said, I would go do. And then I would be resentful of it. And later I'd blow up and have a fit. And that doesn't work either. You got to be calm and cool. So if you got things you're doing and she's got things for you to do, you know, and you're trying to get along here and you're trying to be cordial, but yet don't fall into that trap of just letting her tell you what to do all the time. Okay? Because most of the time, those are tests to see how far can she push you? How far can she get you to go to control you? And if you're like, whoa, wait a minute, I got my own things going on here. You know, you tell me what you got to do, I'll tell you what I got to do, and then we'll figure out how to get these other things done in the middle. So just don't let her boss you around all the time. Yeah, if it's legitimate, you know, can you pick the kids up from school? Or if you don't have kids, if you got other things, you know, she doesn't have time and it's, you know, that's fine. But you get my point. Just don't be at her beck and call. Okay? Number 3, don't try to guilt her. In other words, if you don't stay with me, you know, I'm going to do whatever. If you've got kids, I'm not going to let you see the kids. Or if you're married, I'm going to make sure you don't get your half of the money. Or, you know, I'm not going to take care of the house. Or just don't try guilt. Guilt doesn't work. No one wants to be guilted. Number 4, don't go to counseling. Don't even suggest counseling. And I'll tell you why. I have read some studies and watched some other videos of people that are talking about this, and it's like 77% of the time marriage counseling or relationship counseling actually makes it worse, because you have one party that wanted to go and a counselor, and over time they end up kind of ganging up on the one that doesn't want to stay in the relationship, and it just drives you further apart. And it also, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, you can disagree if you like, suggesting counseling kind of shows weakness in the beginning. Now, if you got to a point where things kind of come back together and both of you say, you know, that would really be a good idea. That's a whole nother thing. We're talking about kind of like stopping the bleeding, right? So these are those beginning, you know, she's about ready to leave, or she's already left, or maybe she's already got her own apartment, and you really want to keep the relationship together. These 4 things I said don't do are those kind of crisis. This is where you start. Okay? Now let's cover the do's. What to do, right? So now we're going in a positive direction. Okay, so number 1 on our do list, make a commitment to yourself that you're going to do what's necessary. Maybe not what feels good. You know, it may not be easy, but you're going to make a commitment to yourself that you're going to do what you can to save your relationship. Okay, that's number 1 on our to-do list. Number 2, work on yourself. There's probably some things going on that you needed to be doing anyway, or we wouldn't have got to this point. You wouldn't have gotten to this point in your relationship. So working on yourself. And I got a little bonus tip at the end that is along the lines of this working on yourself. Okay, so whatever that is, whether it's time management, you know, going to the gym, eating better, you know, maybe if you've been thinking about getting a new job, whatever those things are, I'm just throwing out some ideas here, but whatever those things are that you know you need to do, now's the time to do them. Show her that you're making changes on you for you, not just for her. And that's going to be my tip at the end. Okay, number 3, don't let this relationship define your happiness. Life is full of other surprises and things going on for this one thing to determine your happiness, this relationship. If it is the source of your happiness, it's probably why you're in this situation in the first place. I know I got to that point where, well, if I could just stay married, I'd be happy. Not true. Mine ended in divorce. And as it turns out, for me, in my life, that was the best thing. Now, it took a couple of years for me to figure that out, me and my kids. But it was the right thing that needed to happen. And that's a whole nother video. I'll make one of these days and tell you the story. But regardless, I made a commitment, and we stayed married for a year after I had an affair. We stayed married for a year. And at the end of that year, when she filed for divorce, I knew that relationship was not going to define me. My life was going to be happy and fulfilled after that marriage was over. And I was only married once. I've got 2 kids. And so everything came together after I had made that commitment to myself. I was going to do what I could. And if it didn't work, when it ended, I would know that I had done everything I could do. And I had a clear conscience. And that's exactly what happened, and I was able to move forward. Number 4. This is kind of a silly one, if you will, but if you can, make your girl laugh. Because this is a tense time, a tense situation. Women love to have fun. Even if it's something small, do it. If you have the opportunity to make her laugh, make her laugh. That will do more for a relationship. In those little pieces that you can do, the little things that she can notice. Even if she's moved out, or you know, maybe even if she's seeing somebody else, and she sees you doing some of these things, she's going to say, wait a minute, he's different. And then it's going to be like, do I really want to stay gone? Now, this may take a while. This may be a month or 2. That's why it's important for you to make a commitment that you're going to do what you can for a period of time. I said a year to myself because I was married and had 2 kids. If you're not married and you don't have kids together, then it's not as serious. But if you think this is the girl for you and you just screwed up and you're trying to put it all back together, then these are the tips for you. Okay, now my little bonus. The whole issue with a guy wanting to get his girl back, it probably ended because of you not showing up in a masculine form. Now, what I mean by that is women are drawn to the masculine, confident man who knows where he's going. He's got his stuff together, and if he doesn't have his stuff together, he knows he doesn't, and he's trying to fix them. And he can enumerate them. Here's the things I got to do to get my crap together. Right? So, if you're having all these troubles, these things that you need to change, you need to do for you. Do not do it just for the relationship. Because if, for whatever reason, this relationship ends and you can't stop it, all of these other things need to be done anyway. So start now working on yourself. All right? So that's all I got for this video. Leave me a comment. I'll have my email in the comments below. Send me an email because I do private coaching. I charge $99 an hour. I would consider, working with someone, but send me an email if you have that need, because I can't help your specific situation without a little bit of communication. That part doesn't cost anything, obviously. So, with that, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.